Drama in the IPL 2019. We've had another cliffhanger, another one that we'll see on replays and in highlights for years to come. It's an IPL classic. It featured superstars. It was at the Chinnaswamy Stadium. There were runs from De Villiers, runs from Rohit Sharma, Hardik Pandya, wickets from Bumrah, wickets from Chahal. In the end, we'd hate to start such a cracking game of cricket with what could have been a defining umpiring call on the very last ball. But we must, because it cannot get any more dramatic than needing 7 of the last ball, having AB de Villiers potentially play a free hit with 5 to get and a no ball that wasn't called by S. Ravi, an elite panel umpire of LASITH Malinga, who almost broke down after he managed to save the day for Mumbai. We have to talk about Jasprit Bumrah. We cannot speak of that performance in isolation. He's effectively ensured Mumbai have won this in spite of the best batsman arguably in the format at the other end for RCB. Deep Das Gupta and Brad Hodge have the privilege of talking about that game along with me on ESPNcricinfo Match Day T20.
And look at you smiling about that.
I'm smiling because you know me. I just love a good talking point and I love a good cricket match, and we've got both. Hodgie, let's go backwards. I know the first thought should not be an umpiring call, but we can't help it with the nature of it, the drama, and Virat Kohli saying what's at stake in the IPL. It's not a club level tournament. Umpires need to be more alert.
Yeah, well, I guess everyone can make mistakes in the heat of the moment. I mean, even an umpire, you know, can get excited about what's at stake, 6 to win the game or 6 for a super over. So there's a lot on his mind as well. But I guess, your job is actually to make the correct decisions. And unfortunately, that looks like a pretty average one.
That's the problem. In spite of the review system and all these things that are trying to come in to remove these talking points and try and remove the howlers, it's still not a system that's perfect. It'll still allow for some errors, and some errors like this could even be match defining or match turning.
Yes, it is. I mean, in this case, could have changed the result of the game, as you mentioned. And how I see it is, it's about time to look at, giving the front foot no ball to the third umpire. I think it was tried for a series or a game or two, I guess, then continue after that. But if this is the replay that we watched, if you actually go through all the deliveries, there'll be quite a few of them where the bowler has overstepped and it's not given.
It happens. It happens that we watch replays on TV and there may be side-on replays for a boundary or a bouncer, and we suddenly notice, oh, that was close, that may be another look.
Yeah, but I think if common sense comes into it, the umpire standing there, you know that the only result that can change the game is going to be a no ball or a wide. So you'd think you'd need to be switched on for that particular instance.
There seems to be a trend from umpires now to focus more on the action in front of them and less on that no ball, because we've seen that at times. They sometimes go up and review the front foot and we see the bowler half and half. We sometimes see the bowler's foot right behind, which means they're not really giving that as much thought.
You're reviewing the no ball for deliveries which are either,
only for wickets. Yes,
right?
That's the ICC rule, is what I believe.
Right.
Or the procedure.
That's right. So the point is, it's about the other deliveries. Yes. It's about the important ones like this one. You can't review that. Now, what Hodgie said is perfectly spot on. I mean, listen, they have DRSs left, both the teams, so you don't really have to worry too much. But also look at the umpires. It's very difficult to actually look down there and somebody bowling at 140, 135 and then straight away look up.
Yes.
It's difficult. So that's
so you're saying take it away from the on-field umpire, put it in the hands of the TV umpire.
Yeah, because listen, if at this pace and all, it's very difficult for the batsman to hear the no ball call and actually
but the other thing of this is, Haji, we've already got the review system. They're anyway going up for just about every run out and stumping. They're checking for every catch almost. They're checking for boundaries. The only thing that's literally left is either a height no ball or a wide, and we even saw wides, a couple of poor decisions in the Bumrah over by Nandan before that. So what's left for an umpire to do on field?
Yeah, look, maybe we can go to artificial intelligence, I guess, and it'll come to that, I guess. But look, technology has come into the no ball. They've looked at having a system similar to that of the tennis.
Sensors and stuff.
But they actually couldn't get it within the realms of the popping crease with the stumps as well. It was a bit of a laser type technology.
Sure.
And that might happen given a few more years. But this is the big thing. Even in Test cricket, we've seen Ishant's been a bit of a instigator.
Again, cricket doesn't help itself. It's not actually such a straight game, because it's not like 10-pin bowling where even part of the cutting of the crease is a foul, or in tennis where you cannot Here you're okay to land just about on the crease. Then you've got the bowlers, spinners that have their heel in the air.
Okay, now
behind.
my point is this, and I've asked broadcasters, and they said, listen, to turn around a replay, you take around 3 to 4 seconds.
Yes.
Now, if you have a camera and an EVS guy who would turn it around, the replay, it would take him 3 seconds if you have a dedicated guy sitting next to the third umpire, and just give it to him.
So you're you just want the third umpire to call the front foot calls.
Yeah, because then the umpire, the on-field umpire, doesn't have to look down and then up. He's just looking at the action
He's not
in front
checking,
of him.
yeah. He's not checking for
even
that.
bothered about that. You just take it away from him.
And are you for that? Because then there's that other thing. Then why not have the umpires check everything? Why stop at the no ball? There could be height no balls, there could be wide balls, there could be the ones that touch the pad and they still get given wide. There's no end to that then.
See, for me, I think there's still one thing I love about this game is human error with the bowler, a batsman, and also the umpire. So you've got to take into consideration.
So you like your old school then? You like the imperfection?
Yeah, you're never going to be perfect. If we're all perfect, the world would be a boring place.
Which was MS Dhoni's original argument against the review system, that don't have an adulteration of it. Either leave it in the hands of the umpire completely or give it to technology completely. It seems like cricket is still somewhere in the middle.
No, I'm a big fan of the on-field umpire because end of the day he is the main guy. So I'm all right with the tools, the technology helping the umpire. So the DRS system as of now is used as a helping hand for the umpires, right?
Yeah.
But this is a different thing because this is happening way too often. Right, and it hampers the on-field umpire. Like I mentioned, if somebody's bowling at 140, it's very difficult for the on-field umpire to look down and then up
And
again.
I mean, let's spare a thought. Just a thought for the umpire. Ravi is an experienced elite panel umpire. You've got Malinga, however hard it might be, but you don't want to get that call wrong either. Imagine putting your hand up and you can't take that back.
Yeah, but I think that
Fine
in that
margins.
instance, you could clearly see the white chalk. There was
So
nothing.
it's a bad mistake. There are
Yeah.
there are mistakes and there are bad mistakes, and for you that's a bad mistake.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can your judges to judge the line, and something has to be behind the line. You could see that he was even in front of the popping crease, so he's probably got it wrong by about 2 inches.
Okay, now how will that affect things going forward? Virat Kohli is understandably displeased. He might have actually done well to still maintain a dignified tone when he was answering Ian Bishop's comments and questions post-match. But we may not have heard the end of this. And let's see how this affects RCB season going forward. Because let's be fair, it's been a terrific game of cricket and they had their moments. Virat himself admitting it was probably a mistake to go after Jasprit Bumrah at that stage. When Kohli and de Villiers were going on, we thought RCB might win this with an over to spare. So let's talk about Jasprit Bumrah, who very much is the difference between two sides. We've spent 2 out of the first 5 days of the IPL already talking about a batsman, Andre Russell, as the difference between two sides. Sometimes a bowler's performance or contribution gets neglected in comparison to a batsman. But my God, Jasprit Bumrah's turned this.
Yeah, he's priceless. Let's be honest. In all forms of cricket, he just continues to deliver, and there's not a lot that batsmen can do. I mean, he's got all the package. He's got an interesting action, strange run up. He's got good pace, got a good bumper, slow ball, Yorker.
Yeah,
it's a pretty clear package, and his execution is also outstanding.
We know these things about him, but to bowl that in that situation with AB de Villiers at the other end.
I think his biggest asset is his mind. I think he's so calm under pressure. He knows exactly the clarity of thought that I keep talking about. I mean, he's brilliant at that. You know that these are the things he can do. As a batsman, you got a slower, he's got a bumper, and everything else that you've seen him do before. You see the field and he said, listen, he's got 2 options, either a slower or a Yorker. But still, he manages to outfox the batsman more often than not.
I mean, this is nearly a 400-run game. You've got everyone going at 10s and 11s and
5 and over.
Bumrah's 5. And out of that, 6 runs have come of his last 2 when the required rate was 10.
And 2 wickets as well.
I mean, if you look back at this, if Malinga has 12 or 13 to defend and he goes for 6 of the first ball, it's a different game. And here Bumrah's given him 17, 18. I mean, the legend that LASITH Malinga is, I think it only could be capped by Bumrah going and having a word with him. Man who groomed Jasprit Bumrah at Mumbai.
Yeah, look, it's almost like the new dog has stepped up to the plate, isn't he?
Yeah.
But, what a performance, really. And it's not surprising he's bounced back after, a pretty average game at the Wankhede. And that's what superstars do. And that's why he was so important. And everyone else knows that now he's up and running, it's going to be a tough ask for most
The
teams.
other thing which I was discussing with Gaurav Sundaraman, who of course follows so much about how batsmen and bowlers match up in these phases, is what you're thinking when you're playing Bumrah. That sometimes he need not be bowling a great ball, but because it's Bumrah at the other end. Colin de Grant has played, 2 out of 7 there? He's got AB de Villiers at the other end. It seems so obvious sitting far away, outside of that pressure cauldron. Just get one and try and get Bumrah of 8 or 10 of those 2 overs. They just can't do it. Why?
Listen, with that shot that de Grandom got out to, the shot was on.
Yeah.
He didn't time it or was a slower one which he didn't pick as early as he should have or he could have. But the shot was on. So yes, I mean as a batsman, and you're looking at a good ball, converting that into a single, and if anything that you think you can go after at that stage, you go after. So it's not that particular delivery that he got out to, but 7 deliveries, 2 runs at that stage. I mean, that's something that I'm sure he won't be happy about.
Surely now, teams, managements, coaches will have to start telling guys what they need to do if they come under a situation like this with Bumrah at the other end. And what is that?
Yeah, well, the problem is that there's a lot of experience still out in the middle. So to me, it looked like there was a bit of lack of communication and clarity.
Sure.
I mean, ABD should be
Talking to him
as a
almost
senior
every
member,
ball.
just instructing him, say, listen, I've got this under control. We're playing against Bumrah today. He's red hot. Let's see that out. We need 12 and over. We can take him for 6 or 7. We can make that up at the other end. But that didn't happen.
Take nothing away from AB de Villiers' innings, though. 70 of 41. If any of you had any doubts about the sort of form he's coming into this tournament with, he didn't play all of the PSL, had his share of injuries, not playing for South Africa anymore. But at the Chinnaswamy Stadium, well, many people hit sixes, but AB de Villiers is just another level of invincible out here. We will mention a little later that he was dropped first ball. But for now, let's focus on the 40 that followed. Oji?
Yeah, well, he's not even. Look, he doesn't just chip them over the fence either. They're 90-metre hits, so they're going to be sixes on any particular ground, and that's what makes him so dynamic. I mean, once he gets up and running, similar to that of a Jasprit Bumrah, not many bowlers have got any answers to AB de Villiers because he's a 360 dimensional player. He seems to read the play really well of what the bowler's execution, and once he gets on top of their A plan, it's almost like they don't have a B and a C plan.
It's like if you converse the situation, how batsmen face Bumrah versus how bowlers bowl to de Villiers. You just know that no matter, it might be your best and he still might hit it.
Yeah, because as he mentioned, he's a proper 360 degrees. You bowl a Yorker, he can paddle you either way, a reverse or a straight. If it's a low full toss, he can hit you straight. So for every delivery, it seems like he's got 3-4 options. I mean, any other good player might have a couple of options, but it seems he has more than a couple of options against every delivery that he faces.
Small things, but maybe we'll want to talk about whether de Villiers, in spite of that wonderful hit by Shivam Dubey, and take nothing away from him, should have probably given himself all 6 balls to Malinga and maybe just stayed on strike. Because if you look at his record against Lasith Malinga, it'll perhaps give you an indication as to why de Villiers should have told himself, if I face 6 balls of Malinga under pressure, Malinga who's just coming back, I back myself to hit a boundary every alternate ball. And that's what he's got against Lasith Malinga in all T20 Is. 100 runs in 10 innings, a strike rate of 190, 15 boundaries, and he's never been dismissed by the great Lasith Malinga. So that's the most runs by any batsman against Malinga in this format, which it doesn't surprise you. If you have to have bad numbers, you might as well have it against the best batsman in the world, Audrey.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean...
Take me through that last ball. Should he have allowed for Shivam Dubey to keep strike? Yes, he smashed the first ball for 6. We didn't expect that.
Yeah, I think that would have given him confidence, actually. I mean, this is the guy that's only just come into the side. So even ABD himself wouldn't have known what strengths Shivam Dubey's got. Now that he saw them, I think that would have given him great confidence to say, go out there, youngster, and take it on. And he actually, nearly got the job done himself.
Yeah, but having said that, I mean, if you haven't played Malinga before, you might get him for a 6, which Dubey did. But it's a difficult ask from a youngster, to get what 17 of 6 from Malinga, because yes, his pace has come down. He might not be the same Malinga 3-4 years ago, but I mean, still he's a very, very good bowler, and especially for someone who hasn't played Malinga's action before, can be tricky.
Okay, now he's still gone for 47, Lasith Malinga, but we've definitely not seen the last of AB de Villiers. He's got a lot left in him, and now that he's only dedicated himself to non-international cricket, then we should see a lot more of this in the IPL for a while to come. Let's go to our next impactful performance of the day, and you can take nothing away from Hardik Pandya's cameo. It helped Mumbai get to 187 after they were 147 for 7 at one stage, and effectively batting with no accomplished batsman at the other end. It's not like he had someone who could knock it around. He lost McClanagan, he lost Krunal Pandya, and he had to manage with Markande and Bumrah.
Yeah, was brilliant hitting.
Yeah.
Was simply brilliant hitting, and all the sixes that he hit was like very, very long.
Yeah.
You know, he sent one outside the stadium as well. So that's good news. I mean, that's good news for Indian cricket.
Yeah, that's the other thing, right? You were observing that. Every game, 1-1 Indian first team player is ticking a box. So Kohli doesn't mind being 2 out of 2 losses in the IPL. His boys are doing well.
Yeah, there's a lot of positives for Virat, even though he didn't get the 2 points tonight for his franchise. He'll secretly be walking or catching the bus back to the hotel thinking, there's some good players coming good for me at the right time.
Yeah, Hardik Pandya, let's talk about the impact he would have had for that innings, because if you look at how that innings went on, that'll give you an idea of the huge significance of Pandya's innings. He had what? We had 2 overs of 30 towards the end there, and 42 runs came from the last 4 overs, but I think 30 or so of those came in the last 17 or 16 balls.
Yeah, he got 32 of 14.
Yeah, that's massive. 40 came in the last 17 balls, so that's big for you if you're looking in the context of this game. And just when we thought Mumbai might have lost their shape, they didn't have Ben cutting in this game. It must be very pleasing that Pandya is doing the role of playing with lesser batsmen, at the same time hitting sixes of fast bowlers.
Yeah, I mean, that's the important part of having Hardik for any team, because he has that ability to do it, because he has that 6 hitting ability against any bowler, to be honest. I mean, on his day, he can take on any bowler, and that's such an important aspect for somebody who has to bat at number 7, 8, because more often than not, he would be playing with the tail-enders to finish off games or finish the innings.
I'm just confirming that Jasprit Bumrah has secured the Man of the Match award. Otherwise, Hardik Pandya had set himself up nicely for that. But
do I get extra points for that?
Huge cameo. No, you don't get anything for that. We'll come to you in a bit. Don't be greedy, Deep. But just to round up the Hardik Pandya chat, let's look back at Mumbai's batting and just see if there's anything they can take away from these 2 games now. Is that looking like the best batting lineup that they've got, or was that phase in the middle where you still want to revisit and think we can fix that?
Look, I think they'll take a lot of positives, because Surya Kumar Yadav has actually, moved from an opening position to, a middle order type role. The way that Yuvraj struck the ball will be great for them. The other thing is that, in the middle there as well, you won't see too many times where you'll have a cluster of wickets like that. I mean, Krunal Pandya came in and went cheaply. I think that even though Ben Cutting's out of the side, I think they'll be happy with this, because instead of chasing 200, most times they're going to be chasing 180. And with this batting unit, they're comfortable. That's a comfortable score for them.
You may want to just swap McClanagan with Berendorf, and then you've got an even more formidable looking bowling
unit. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And Sanjay would love this this playing 11, because he's always so big about 5 proper bowlers and 6 proper batsmen if you don't have anyone good enough to do both. But yeah, I think, you compromise a little with the batting, but when you have 5 proper bowlers, more often than not, they'll do the job for you like they did today.
Yeah, let's move on to Bangalore's bowling. And while Mumbai are so proud of how they've bowled at the death, it's the exact opposite for Bangalore, because they continue to have issues at the death. Now, Yuzvendra Chahal does well actually to get 4 wickets after going for 18 of 3 balls to Yuvraj Singh before eventually getting his wicket of the 4th. But the death bowling is still an issue. We said that their bowling looks better this year, Deep.
Yeah.
But it's still a huge reliance on Indian fast bowlers, which is not really the way a lot of the teams that are still successful in the IPL go. They want a big overseas quick to take charge at the end. Do Bangalore need that?
Yeah, but I think these youngsters are good enough to do the job. They are good enough. They have good support in terms of the coaching staff that they have. They have someone like Ashish, who's a good mentor. Give them some time. I think they'll do the job. Today they looked worse than usual, because obviously at the other end you had Bumrah giving away 7 in 2, and you had Malinga, and obviously you're playing at Chinnaswamy. But I have faith in them. I really like Saini and both Mohammad Shiraz. I think they have it in them to do it.
I think the hardest thing is that even when you can bowl well, with the Chinnaswamy, you can actually go for plenty of runs.
Sure.
So when you look over your performances, you look and you see, I got none for 40 today, and you see your economy of 10. It can play on your mind. It adds up. So whenever you come back to the plate, you're nervous that You know, your good days are not going for 6, 7s, 8s. They're going for 9s, 10s, and 11s.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a mind thing, but I think they'll come good for sure.
If you look at the rest of the league, I think with the exception of Sunrisers Hyderabad, these are the only two teams, Bangalore and Hyderabad, that rely on Indian bowlers to bowl at the death.
Yeah.
Mumbai have got Bumrah, so let's keep that as a different league because he's a different league from any other
Yeah.
bowler. But everywhere else, you've got Andrew Tye for Punjab, Bravo for Chennai, Rabada for Delhi, KKR have got Lockie Ferguson now. They would have probably relied on somebody else if not for Lockie. But the mantra seems to be go for an overseas quick to take that responsibility because you're not quite sure what you'll get out of Indian bowlers.
Jofra Archer as well.
Jofra Archer for Rajasthan. So here you've got Tim Southee waiting in the ranks and you've got Nathan Coulter-Nile if he joins this team. Is there a need for that?
I think if this continues, then they'll have to look at that for sure. But you've got to weigh up that what you're bringing with Tim Southee, what you remove from that side as well. So is he going to still go at 10s? That's where you got to ask yourself the question, or is he going to go at 6 or 7s like a Bumrah? So it's a catch-22.
It could easily work that if Shivam Dube gives them some confidence, or if Hatmaya gets them some runs, then they might be tempted to find a bowler for Colin de Grandin.
That's right. So get a bowler for Colin de Grandin and then maybe an Indian batsman or somewhere in the middle order.
All right, that's food for thought for Bangalore, but they still have some work to do. Let's give this line of fast bowlers just a few more games. Chinnaswamy, like we said, Saini looks okay. Could have had a wicket, should have had a wicket. Didn't have one of Quinton de Kock. There was a chance that went down early. And runs can be leaked at this ground, unless you're Bumrah. Now, let's go to our Fab 4 contest. And one man picked Bumrah. That's Deep Das Gupta. He would be very pleased with his selection. Let's have a look. 90 points for Bumrah. I think you should double, triple that up with just impact. Kohli gets you a nice 56 points. Those 46 gets him to 5,000 IPL runs too. So good score from Deep. So you've done well today.
Yeah.
Quiz
yes, I was miserable. I was in 60s or something in double digits yesterday.
Terrible yesterday. No, you did well today. You did really well. Let's see Brad Hodges' score now. Rohit Sharma, half century. That gets you some points. Nothing much from Krunal Pandya or Quinton de Kock. AB de Villiers gets you 90. So this was close.
Yeah, it was good. I was expecting a little bit more from Krunal actually, but
he gave advice that was worth lots of points, right? Towards
I'm sure.
One to win, one ball to go.
I'm sure LASITH would have loved it too.
I think he told Malinga, don't bowl a no ball.
Yeah.
All right, let's wrap this up. Many thanks to Deep Das Gupta and Bradley Hodge for joining us for a thrilling game. We hope to have many more of these in the IPL. Plenty more to talk about. You haven't heard the last of this chat from the no ball incident. I'm sure in the post-match press conference, whoever addresses it for RCB will have a thing or two to say, and we'll see the sort of impact it could have to RCB's season going forward. They now find themselves 2 losses out of 2 in the IPL. We'll get your company for Face Off, the quiz between Brad and Deep for tomorrow at 6 p.m. Indian Standard Time, and we'll then hope for your company at 7:30 for the build-up to the game between Sunrisers and Rajasthan Royals. Thrilling night in Bangalore, Mumbai on the right side of it, courtesy Jasprit Bumrah.